my topic today is Alzheimer's. It is a form of dementia. It's also the sixth leading cause of death in the U.S. More than 5 million people in America suffer from Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. It's the memory loss and the cognitive part. And right now, it is 5 million, but it's expected to raise up to at least 16 million by 2050. Every 66 seconds in the U.S., somebody develops a disease. So if this is the sixth leading cause, get it? Okay. 1 in 3 people who have Alzheimer's die from it. Usually they die of old age. So this is known as the 65 and up age. That's when you're usually diagnosed with it. But over 2 billion people in the world, or 2,000 people in the world, have early onset, which means that they can have it at 25 years old. It's just mostly common in those that are 65 or older. Once you're diagnosed, the range to live is 4 to 8 years. It can go all the way up to 20. It just depends on how bad it is and how many brain cells have been lost. For me personally, my grandmother was just diagnosed about 5-6 months ago, and she's already in the phase of just being mad and not understanding, and it's very frustrating for her and frustrating for our whole family, because there is no real, oh, this is how it is. It's all different cases, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So the symptoms for this are mood changes in behavior, disoriented, suspicious of family. For instance, my grandmother doesn't understand why her husband, my grandfather, is in her house. She doesn't understand that that's her husband, and it breaks all of our hearts. They've been together for over 65 years, and it's just so sad to see this disorder just take over her whole life. It's so mentally straining on everyone in the family, not just her. We just want her to get better, but there is no cure for Alzheimer's. In more serious cases, there's difficulty walking, swallowing, speaking. It's so sad to think that it could happen like that one day. Not all cases are the same. You never know what's going to happen. But unfortunately, there's no way to tell. There's no, oh, we can do this to prevent this from happening. Nothing like that. So it's very sad. So the definition of Alzheimer's is the loss of brain cell nerves. So your body has over 6 billion brain cell nerves, and over time those get lost, and so Alzheimer's is an increased amount of loss, which means the communication between the brain cells is lost. So you have those pieces that don't connect, and that's why everyone just is so confused all the time, because they don't have those pieces to connect. All of this happens way before actual memory loss and actually showing occurs. So my grandmother was diagnosed 5 to 6 months ago. She probably started losing all these brain cells about 4 or 5 years ago. There's 7 stages of Alzheimer's. There's the normal stage. This is when the brain cells, you're losing brain cells, but you function great. You function normal. There's no functional decline. The second stage is you're very aware of your surroundings, but you can tell there is some mental decline. You don't understand certain things, and you get frustrated because you don't understand. And I think that's the stage that my grandmother is in right now. So stage 3 is early Alzheimer's. It's classified as early Alzheimer's. So that is where basically your mental function is as of a 12-year-old. It declines that fastly. Mild Alzheimer's, which is the 4th stage, pretty much requires around-the-clock care. you start needing assistance with things like remembering to take a shower, remembering your family's names, just remembering to do daily things. The fifth stage is where you need help getting dressed. You need help remembering how to tie your shoes, things like that. The sixth stage is 24/7 care. You cannot be by yourself. You can barely walk, you can barely function. That's the really sad part, is knowing that stage could potentially happen. Level 7 is where you function as of a newborn. And by that, I mean you can't feed yourself, you don't want to eat. All you really can do is cry. You're just so confused that you don't know what's going on. You need people to change you. You can't do anything by yourself, just like a newborn. There's no cure for Alzheimer's. They are working on research, but there's no cure to say that this helps out this. The main thing that will help you out is staying active with your brain, keeping your brain up, quizzing yourself on things, keeping up with knowledge of the president and really anything around it. There are a lot of clinical trials, not one that has been the most successful trial, but some cases are that there is an incline in memory loss. But it's hope. All you can ask for in these situations is hope. It helps others know that they are trying to do something for you, because you, truthfully, it affects everyone around you. It's not just you that it affects, and so these clinical trials and these going to the hospital to get checked out, it helps your family, it helps them feel like they are doing something for you, versus just sitting at home and watching you, your brain basically wither away. It's very sad to think about. This right here states that 35% of caregivers for people with Alzheimer's require a health report that has gotten worse. Their responsibilities have gotten better, so that's 35% of people that are in the healthcare industry for this states that sometimes healthcare isn't the right way. There's no right or wrong answer, unfortunately. It's a lot of money for these treatments right now. It is $259 billion. Eventually it will be up to 1.1 trillion. This is just calculations that they've done. There's lots of supporting groups that you can go to. There's these Alzheimer's walks that are usually in September that people get together and they share their stories and they walk and they raise money, because none of this is cheap for anyone, especially if you don't have the means for any of this and no one asked for this. It's really sad to see your family go through something like that. But yeah, there's walks, there's, really anything. People raise money through t-shirts, all that kind of stuff, just to help support them so they can take care of their families. They can give their families treatments. The best thing I would say to do is to just love on your family while you can. Just be there for them when this happens. They don't understand and you don't understand. It's just a lot of confusion, a lot of crying. That's where my family is at right now with my grandmother. She just doesn't understand. She's frustrated all the time. She doesn't understand why people are trying to help her. And she can't help that. And we've all had to come to grips with the fact that she can't help it. She doesn't understand why this is happening to her, neither do we. Thank you for listening today.